some point, you have to learn to just let the good in and accept that you're good too.
Right.
And the whole world runs on fear. Everybody's afraid. Every argument you have is assumption with somebody else. Theirs or yours. And at some point, you got to realize life's happening for you, not to you. And you just got to let the good in and realize the universe or God, whatever your thing is, nobody dies because God needed them. Like, send me Tom. Like, no, you ain't got time. Well, it's a she, I know for a fact. She ain't got time for that. It's just a big, beautiful world. You just got to let the good in and see that it's, no matter how bad things are going for you, it's actually, you're okay. You've always been okay. You've always been okay. You will always be okay.
True. Very true. Jay Mohr, if you just tuned in, you've been performing stand-up since you're 16 years old.
Well, I know you know that as a fact. So is that yes?
How did it start at 16? I mean, at 16, I don't remember what I was doing.
I'd like to know.
I'll tell you later.
Little girl guard, why don't you stop your crying? Here comes Ivor, the dirty engine driver, to make you feel much better. Sorry, it's from a Who song. I would say at 16, I was watching a lot of comedy, and I would wear out VHS tapes, those old VHS tapes. I would just tape over everything that was ever on them. And it would be 4 hours, 3 minutes at a time of stand-up comedy from late-night TV shows. And I just loved comedy. I always watched comedy. Star Search, Eating at the Improv.
Star Search.
Tonight Show, all of it. Yeah, 3.25 stars. You knew who was going to win on Star Search by the name. It would be like a dance crew. It would be like, Fantastic Supreme, 4 stars. Lump of garbage, 1 star. So I was watching comedy. There was a public access show, Evening at Rascals. Rascals was a comedy club the next town over in New Jersey in West Orange. And they had public access. They would show the comedians. They would film the shows. And I watched that all the time. And then one night I was watching it, and it said, one of the commercials was, if you're a teenager between the ages of 13 and 17 and want to try stand-up comedy, come on down on this Sunday at noon. First of all, I love that in the commercial they explain to me what a teenager is. Bunch of dummies. Oh, that's a teenager. Cool. So I'm 29. I want to know if I can still get in on that action. And so I went and I tried it. And just when I saw that commercial, a light bulb went off in my head. And like, oh, that's why I love comedy. I'm supposed to be doing it. And it wasn't like, let's see how it goes. It was a door opened, and it was just having Montana in front of you. It was mine. Like, it was all my territory. Like, this is exactly it. It wasn't, I hope it works out. There was no other option. And when I tried it, it was, it's noon, and you're doing comedy in front of other teenagers with their parents in a basement in New Jersey. It didn't go well at all. And it wasn't until I met Buddy Hackett where he said to me, stand-up comics, we're special people. This is what Buddy Hackett said. He goes, the first time you tried comedy, you're using 0.1% of your actual talent because you're overwhelmed. Your monitor is at 100. Like, everything is, what's that noise? Why aren't they laughing? This is terrible. I feel weird. And they still invited you back to do it again. So that stuck with me when he said that. And when I did stand-up comedy, I met other teenagers that said, what are you doing Wednesday? Because there's an open mic in Hackensack, New Jersey. And like, what are you doing Saturday? Because there's a place in Montclair, and I realized, I found my tribe. Suddenly I was a part of a group that I loved. Because I was, in high school, comics were all like friends with everybody, not like really the friend of anybody. And plus I was a wrestler. That made it more of like a monastic life.
Right.
When I did comedy, I felt I was finally a part of a community.
Do you ever get nervous?
No.
Wow.
Do you get nervous before you go to work?
Nope. Not really. Not anymore. I don't even think once in a blue moon. Not often.
Yeah, it's like that, really, because it's the job. That's your job.
Right.
And I've been nervous in the last, let's say, 5 years. Like 2 or 3 times I've gotten really nervous before I realized I was entirely prepared. And then I wasn't nervous anymore. When I hosted the NHL Awards, for some reason I was really nervous. It was live. It was on like TNT or I don't know. It was one of those networks, and I was so nervous. And then I just had this moment where I kind of sat down. I wrote all these jokes, and they're in a teleprompter, and all I have to do is read jokes that I've written. And I went, yeah, this is weird. Stop being nervous. You're a fool.
I was going to ask you, do you use note cards or is it teleprompter or like when you're up there on stage, do you have like...
Never.
Never.
No, it's in my head. If I have note cards, I don't refer to them. If I have like, the big trick comics can use is instead of like having a notebook, which I hate when comics have a notebook on stage, it's like, be a pro. Like and comics will go like, what else? I don't know. You tell us what else. That's why we're here. Is you take a napkin and you just write a couple bullet points on a napkin, put your soda or your water on top of the napkin, then whenever you take a drink of water, you just look down at the stool and nobody knows that you're cheating. You're looking at notes.
Is your material changing all the time, or is it mostly like about your personal life, things that are going on?
It is always primarily about things that have happened to me, and my sort of how I see the world. Like, this isn't right, guys? Everybody just needs to relax. It's pretty much the overarching theme of my show. And I just share stories about myself that I don't think anybody would ever really share except with a psychiatrist. But I think that's what makes my shows the best. I know that's what makes my shows the best.
So you're going to... Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, Jay.
No, don't be sorry. There's a quote I heard once, don't be the best at what you do, be the only one doing what you do. And I'm definitely the only one doing what I do, which makes you the best.
You are the best.
Comedians dive deep. You know, we dig around where people get freaked out and they leave them in mind. And I know I'm sharing things that people don't share.
You're going to be at the Ridgefield Playhouse, so close to me, on April 7th at 8 p.m. For tickets, 203-438-5795. What a show that's going to be.
It is going to be what a show that's going to be. It'll be the best show you've ever seen in your life, I promise. Everybody listening.
I bet. Who wouldn't want to be there?
Hey, you know, Yogi Berra once said, if people don't want to come, we can't stop them. So you don't know. But I'll tell you this. If you live like an hour away and you're thinking, but it's an hour drive. Well, I'm flying 5 hours to be there, so you can drive one.
That's right. Have you been to the Ridgefield before?
No, I'm excited about it. Too.
Oh, I'm
really excited.
It's such an amazing place. It's just quaint, and the crowd is always so good there. And you know they have refreshments and drinks and popcorn and all the good stuff. I
love you selling a comedy show is that they have refreshments. You're adorable. You're adorable.
Well,
you know, sometimes I love little kid soccer because sometimes they bring you orange slices and Capri Sun.
I do like that too. Yes.
You're adorable. You're a cutie.
Thank you, Jay Mohr.
I see you.
Well, I'll see you on April 7th at the Ridgefield Playhouse. I am.
Yeah, make sure. Be vigilant. Make sure we meet. Because I'll just be in my head and I'll be backstage and I won't know where to look for you. Just be aggressive and come get me. If they tell you can't go anywhere, tell them to kiss your ass.
I promise. I'll send them the recording.
Excuse me, I'm Wendy Sloan, baby. You better get out of my way, honey.
Jay Mohr, you're amazing. I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you and meeting you in person, April 7th at the Ridgefield Playhouse.
Do you have my cell? Did it come up on your producer's thing or whatever?
It didn't.
I'll call back and make sure you guys have it, and you can have it. You can text me the day of or whatever. Okay. No, and bring whoever you want.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you, doll. Everybody, download this podcast. What are you doing?
Please, maybe I'll have a couple more by the time we meet.